live. Is gone white at the top.
We are here and we are announcing the move of Matheus Cunha. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Social. Manchester United have confirmed the signing of Matheus Cunha for £62.5 million. He has agreed a 5-year contract with a +1 option. Visa plus registration will be completed once Cunha returns from international duty to officially complete the transfer. Finally, some good news after a miserable season, Sam. Just get us started with him as a player. Are you excited about his potential arrival and what you're expecting from him as well?
Yeah, can I just apologise for the state of my camera? Discord is causing chaos because I look like shit on this stream, but on my end it looks great. And then Nick looks like shit on my end, but he looks fine on the stream, so I apologise. Yeah, really good signing. Day one of the transfer window opening, we've got a signing in, which for Manchester United, very unusual, doesn't happen very often. So I'm excited about that. He's a good player. Excellent goal scoring record, overperformed his XG consistently. Is in a position we need in that one of those inside 10s. Wanted to come to United regardless of European football. I think the price, 62.5 million, is a decent price for a player with that quality. A lot of people are going to say, oh, they've overpaid, but I think it's a decent price. So yeah, all in all, very happy. Got to give credit to Ineos. Got the business done early, got it sorted. He's in the door, so quite happy.
Just a couple of stats for anyone wondering. Since the start of last season, Cunha has scored more league goals than any other Brazilian across Europe's top 5 leagues. Vinicius Junior and Rafinha are second and third. Cunha outscored them whilst playing for Wolves, so something just to throw out there. And also, in all competitions this season, 17 goals and 6 assists. And not only to mention that, this is a player who is also 26 years old. So it's not someone who's 30, 31. He's still got a lot of years left in the tank. So anyone who is just joining, even if you're watching later on, we want to hear your opinions on it. As always, we interact with him. And just your thoughts on a first signing. For me personally, I think this is a player who we absolutely need in terms of his profile. So someone who, in those inside positions, the 10s, we've had to watch Garnacho there for the majority of the season. Who the fuck's been on the right-hand side that we've watched there?
Bruno. Ahmad.
Yeah, Bruno, Ahmad, Mount. A couple of times.
Yeah.
It's been but Bruno's been dropping into midfield. Ahmad's been injured for most of the season. So they've been kind of complicated positions for the majority of the season. And you're going to see, I absolutely promise you this, the difference, the night and day difference between someone like Cunha in that role and someone like Garnacho. Because for someone who can receive it with the back to goal, but not also that has the kind of agility to beat 2-3 men, extremely press resistant. You've seen it happen with United when he played against us. It happened with Man City as well. He was just running and ragged all over the pitch. And the fact that he's so fluid as well across multiple positions and he's comfortable, is just going to only help the kind of tactical flexibility more going forward. So, yeah, I think from watching him in the Premier League, Sam, he's a special player, innit?
Yeah, no, he's excellent. Right mentality. His quality on the pitch, fiery, as a lot of South Americans are. And we've moved quickly for him because I imagine there was a lot of teams looking at him, a lot of teams interested in signing him, but we've moved quick and we've got him and we've got it done. So, yeah, I'm really happy. I hope he's prepared for quite a lot of criticism now. Now he's signed from every corner of the earth. I already saw the Sky Sports stat they put out the other day where they're like, the players you've walked the most. Where did they pull that stat from? And they pulled that out because couldn't sign for United because he's apparently.
Can I just say on that stat, right? Another player, I don't know if you're going to mention this, but another player who also had that stat was someone like Florian Wirtz, who Liverpool are trying to sign. You don't need to sprint all of the game if you are tactically ahead.
But when it's United, you have to put something negative out.
If you're ahead of everyone else, the wavelength, you can position yourself fine. With walking, do you know what I mean? It's
I saw that and I was just like, oh, it started already. Here we go. But I hope he's ready for it because he's going to get a lot of it from pundits, from Jamie Carragher, from probably former United players as well. To be honest with you, he's probably going to get a lot of shit from them. So I hope he's ready for it because it takes a lot of signings who come in and get the crit. They can't deal with it. They can't deal with the pressure. They can't deal with the criticism. So I hope he's got strong shoulders and a broad back to sort of just deal with it and carry on. So yeah, hope he's ready.
Well, that's something obviously that's been associated with his character, and one of the reasons, because as much as we could say, yeah, he's got the right ability, he's strong, he's quick, he's creative, etc. A lot of the times it is a question of mentality when players come to United. They just seem to get swallowed up by this kind of dark cloud that's been over us for years. But Cunha strikes me as the type of player to not have that kind of, like, a lot of people have been comparing it to Cantona in the 90s, and I wouldn't do that by any stretch of the imagination, because I just think Cantona was such a massive player for United. I wouldn't even speak about him in the same breath. But in terms of personality and the way he is, and just how fiery he is, like you alluded to before, he has got the perfect personality and it's to deal with a club like Manchester United, you would think.
Yeah, like he seems like he's got all the tools to sort of succeed, and he seems like he's got that kind of mentality. I understand the Cantona comparisons, and I'm not.
I get it.
I'm with you. He's probably not of the quality that Cantona is.
Yeah.
But could he have a similar impact in terms of turning us around and helping us rebuild and get back to where we need to be? Very possibly. Like, it could happen. But I think he can't be alone in that. We definitely need, like, this needs to be right. That sign in the door. Next one. Let's go. And let's just keep the momentum going. You can't be the only one. We can't be like mid-July, he's our only signing. Like, we can't be doing that. We need to get bodies in the door and bodies out the door. That has to be the sort of the sort of goal for Ineos right now.
What should be the realistic expectations, do you think, for someone like Cunha coming in? What do you expect from him?
If he could get anywhere in it, what did he get? 20 goals and assists?
70 goals and 6 assists 17. In all comps he got. Yeah.
If he can get 15 goals or 15 goals and assists or something like around there, I think that would be a really good contribution. Obviously, if he can overperform that, fantastic. But hopefully we get other players in where he's not having to take up all the slack, and he's going to have to take like Bruno does. Like, hopefully we get in, say, an Mbeumo, say we get in another striker, and they can pick up 15 goals, 20 goals. He gets 15, and we spread it out throughout the team. Like, you look at teams like Arsenal, they don't really have one player who gets all the goals. Like, they spread it out throughout the team.
Yeah.
Liverpool's the same. I know Salah scores majority, but like Diaz gets goals. Thingy gets goals. Mane Gakpo gets goals. So they spread it out throughout the team. So I think that's got to be the same at United. We can't just be like, well, if Bruno or Ahmad don't show up, we're fucked. So I think, that's got to be the aim for him. He's got to stand up and be counted. He's got to be like the Otto, like Ahmad, and be one of the players every single week where you go, well, even though we weren't great or we didn't win, he showed up and he played well. Like, he was there. So that's what his aim should be.
Yeah. For me as well, I think it's hopefully he has that kind of infectious personality where the other players around him as well, he's dragging them lot up. Because a lot of these players, they seem to go missing, don't they? When things get a little bit tough or a bit, they kind of hide from it. They'll concede a couple of goals, and I think having a character like that, make him accountable. Say, listen, what the fuck he's doing. More leaders as well, because he's proven it. It always helps when you have someone who's guiding the team who's actually done it before and has substance there and he may have not won trophies. That might be something that people discuss, but in terms of standing out in a poor team. Against the big teams, he's done that for his whole career at Wolves, basically. And we are, and you have to admit, we are a poor team. We are in. Wolves finished. Was it just below us? 16th? Did they finish?
Did not finish above us?
I think we finished 15th, right? So I thought they finished below us. But either way, there was probably a couple of points in between it.
Yeah.
So he's shown when it does get tough, when there is a change of managers, when there is something, he will stand out regardless. And that, for me personally, is one of the most important kind of qualities and traits. If you can, just whilst I'm doing this, will you just get into the comments and we'll react to them, please?
Yeah. Let's have a look. Tim99, good signing. Let's hope it continues. Andy Williams could be our Palmer. On to the next one. I heard on another show, so Jim Ratcliffe is regret becoming a United owner. Have you guys heard anything about that? No, not heard anything about that. I want to hear we've sold Bruno and hijacked Vert's bid. Yeah, that isn't happening, mate. So I'd keep dreaming about that one. But first of quite a few signings, hopefully, from Brian Casey. Shout out to Brian. Messi walks more than Cunha, one of the GOATs. There you go. That stat just means fuck all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And before you say we'll be shit without Bruno, we're 15th with him. Some cats in. DJ Superfly, not a fan of Bruno, apparently. I just want an X Factor player. I'm sick of players not taking players on. Yeah, well, he'll definitely provide that. Pat May, Cunha is a proper game changer for us. Happy days. So, most people really, really happy with signing, and so they should be.
Doesn't make you a bad player if just because the team are performing bad. Like Cunha's a prime example. We're just about to sign him, right? And he's been incredible. The majority of teams, I imagine, there'd be a lot of teams around Europe who would be interested in which kind of leads me to asking Sam, are you surprised other clubs haven't gone for him and got him? Because he seemed quite keen on coming to United, didn't he?
Because somebody, was it a fan in like 2023 spoke to him?
Videoed,
I think,
was it?
And he was a United fan. Anderson was his idol growing up.
His dad, I think, so a big United fan as well. Yeah.
So maybe that was a bit of a sway. Like as soon as maybe other clubs did come and speak to him, but as soon as you heard United, he was like, "Nah, that's where I want to go." Like, and some players are like that. Some players grew up around Manchester United, and it's just everything to them. Like you see a lot of Dutch players, they all want to go to Barcelona because of Cruyff. That's like that's the thing. A lot of South Americans either want to go to Madrid or Barca, don't they? Because there's just a history of South Americans going there. So he's obviously grew up around United, so that's his dream to go there. So maybe that's what swayed him. Like as soon as United was interested, he was like, "Nah, that's where I want to go." So yeah, I love it. If that's where you want to go and you come to United, I'm all about that.
I am quite surprised. I did think he would potentially go to an Arsenal. I thought Arsenal would be I don't know if you say a perfect fit, but I thought that was nailed on before. The strong links with United were really there. I thought even maybe Chelsea might be in for him or something. So yeah, the fact that we've got him, I think. Look, had it been back in the day when we had all these players like Ronaldo and all them, it's kind of like okay, squad player. But the position that we're in at the minute, he is. Would you say he was a guaranteed starter for us? You expect him to?
Oh,
and that's also what they've offered him. Do you think?
Yeah, well, he's got the 10 ante, so that means Rashford is, if he does come back, he's not getting it. So he's got that. Garnacho looks like he's heading out the door, and he was playing in that left 10 position for the most of the season. So you'd assume he just slots in there and he's straight in. I've just seen his stat as well. Matheus Cunha was only one of two players in the league to create 50-plus chances, complete 50-plus take-ons, win 50-plus fouls, and score 10-plus goals. So that's the kind of impact you're getting from a player there. Like that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, he's an all-arounder, isn't he? That's the good thing about him. He's not just someone who... Because if we do... I'm not saying he's an out-and-out 9, but if we do need someone to kind of cover there and fill in, Cunha is definitely someone who can do that. He is comfortable quite literally across the pitch. So, good start from Manchester United. Any risk involved with this move, Sam?
His temper. He has got a reputation, hasn't he, for kicking off. So, red cards, I could see maybe being a bit risky. Things like that. We've seen it with Casemiro for a while, like he got sent off and stuff like that. So that could be a risk. So if he gets a few yellows, I don't really mind too much. But if he's getting quite a few reds for off the field behavior or fighting and stuff, then that might be a risk. But in terms of like, there's not many injury concerns with him. He hasn't suffered many major injuries, which is great. He's played in the Premier League before, so I'm not worried about him adapting to the league. He plays in a similar system at Wolves as what we play, so I think he's fine there. He speaks Portuguese because he's Brazilian, so I think the communication would be fine. So yeah, not many risks. His tempo maybe, and maybe getting sent off. I think that was the only thing I'd highlight and be like, maybe watch that a little bit.
Yeah, it can go either way, innit? Because we literally referenced Eric Cantona before, and he drop kicked a fucking Crystal Palace fan in the crowd. So it's kind of like, it's not great. But having that...
Why did he do it? Because the guy abused him. And
so there was a fire in there. And sometimes, we need that fire. We need fighters, I think. So I have no problem with that. And I've said that multiple times before. There is loads of you joining, so please do let us know your thoughts on Matheus Cunha signing for Manchester United. The first official one for Ineos. Smash that like button as well and subscribe to the channel. We're still going to be live later on as well, by the way, around 7 o'clock. And we're going to recap our predictions at the start of the season. There's some absolute shockers in there. So, yeah, me, Sam, Adam, and Aaron, I believe, are going to be on that one. We'll have graphics. We'll have the whole kind of shebang. So it's going to be a really fun show. But we'll just stick with us for now. And we'll continue to talk about Matheus Cunha. Pat May saying Cunha's a proper game changer for us. Happy days. Macmillan saying Bruno staying hinders us. We've actually got an update on Bruno Fernandes, which we'll speak about in a moment as well. Andy saying he's screened perfect for Arsenal and Liverpool. I agree. My dad saying arriving late again. Hope everyone is happy. Great news. Almost looks like the work of a professional outfit for a change. Cunha's more of a Liverpool signing and Wirtz is more of a United signing. I'm happy we did the smart deal. And breaking news: Garnacho wants to join Chelsea. Apparently, we're not going to speak about Garnacho today. Don't deserve the airtime. But yeah, I mean, we might as well discuss the wages and stuff as well. Sam, what do we think? Have you seen rumours around what he could be potentially on?
I saw 200 grand.
Yeah,
but I don't know
same.
how official that is. So 200 grand seems about right to me. I was expecting it to be around 150 to 200,000, somewhere around there. If he's going to be starting for the team, if he's going to be like one of our sort of main players, that seems about spot on for me. He's not on a massive contract. They've not done a Jadon Sancho or an Anthony where he's on like 300, 275, just ridiculous money. So I'm glad about that. He's 4-year deal with an option of one more, which I think,
5 year
great,
it is.
Perfect.
5 year.
Was it 5 year nailed on? Okay, cool. Yeah, even better. So you nail him down for his best years because he should be entering his peak right about now. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Obviously, you don't want to overpay players, but you also want to pay them enough to sort of incentivize them to join the club and stuff. So yeah, seems about right.
Yeah. So he's currently on, I was just reading, £120,000 a week with a new bumped up deal that he got because he was going to leave in January with Wolves, wasn't it? And then he got like the release clause kind of inserted. So they bumped his wage up, I believe, to 120. And at United, it's reported he's going to get 200 grand a week, which is quite a big, significant bump. But like you said, it's a 5-year deal. You've got a player who's in his prime. He was probably one of the best players in the league. He tethered off a little bit towards the end, but like you said as well, overperforming his XG. I don't know. I see a lot of people kind of moaning about the price tag. But I've seen a lot worse players go for £60 million, Sam.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you say he was on the market somewhere else and he went for 60 million to, I don't know, Liverpool, I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, it's a good deal. He's in his prime. He's up and coming. Like, he needs to reach the next level, £60 million, 62.5, what you want to say. I think most people would be like, yeah, that's fine. I think if you were paying like 80, 90, like if you're around that sort of thing, then yeah, you're probably looking at like that's a bit too much. But I think 62 is probably about on point for like a good player nowadays. Like Florian Wirtz, who I think we all agree is near world class, he's going for 100 plus.
Yeah.
So it seems about right to me, like, to be honest, like just with inflation and how prices have gone and stuff like that, it seems about right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at players who've gone recently for £60 million. I've got a couple in my head who I can think of, but I also think I think there was Anthony Gordon who moved from Everton to Newcastle for around 60, and that seemed deemable at the time. People were quite happy with that. But I mean, Tottenham spent £60 million on Richarlison.
Is it 65 million for Solanke?
60, I think it was.
Yeah.
£60 million for
so
Solanke.
That's about standard.
Kind of,
really.
You've got someone who's looking to take that step up, and people may laugh at that because I'm talking about Man United, but I mean just purely in terms of the pressure and how big of a club it is a step up in comparison to Wolves. There's no two ways about that.
Like United are looking to get back up to where they were, as in like challenging for titles, challenging for trophies.
Yeah.
Wolves have never been about that. I'm sure they'd love to do that, and I'm sure they'd love to be that, but they've never been about that, so that was never their option.
Yeah.
So when in terms of stepping up, is like stepping up in terms of expectation. Because if you stay as a Wolves, as long as they stay up or they try and get mid-table, and maybe they aim for European football, like Conference League, that's what their aims are. Whereas United's aims are not that. United's aims are, we need to be challenging for trophies. We need to be pushing up right up the table. So the expectation is so much bigger at United.
Another one as well who came from Wolves, I was just looking then, Pedro Neto was bought for £60 million from Chelsea.
There you go.
So it is kind of, Jeremy Doku, £60 million. I mean, you can go through the list. It's about right.
How much did Neves go to Saudi for?
Oh, it was quite a bit,
50,
wasn't it?
60?
I imagine, yeah.
50, 60?
Yeah. So it's just, I think it is the price. I mean, I feel like 60 million is the new kind of 40 at this point in today's modern age. So, Cunha market value is 55. We're paying 7 mil over. It's a good deal. That's from Jala.
There you go.
I heard 140k, but you got bonuses that could increase it to 200. If it is more of a bonus structure, then I'm happy with that, because I think that's something that we said that, and we're like, that's the incentives that they should be pushing. Like, okay, you'll get a base salary of 140, but if you deliver like you've been delivering for Wolves on a consistent basis, who's going to complain that you're raising it up to 200,000?
We win a trophy, or we get top 4, or we get like certain goals. Obviously, that means the fans are happy, which is great. It means they get bonuses and incentives, so they're incentivized to do more because they get more money. It means the club gets more money, so it means there's more investment. It means so everybody's a winner. Like everybody's winning there. So I don't understand why we were playing like flat fees of like massive wages with no incentives. It didn't make sense to me like in the past. But yeah.
You could have a massive landscape change here at the club depending on who goes, and that starts with Bruno Fernandes as well. So there was information coming in from Ben Jacobs before, who is we've said it repeatedly when it comes to like Qatar and Saudi and those kind of things. He's quite solid with information, and he's saying Bruno Fernandes is giving Al Hilal's offer serious consideration, but his family still needs some convincing as well. Obviously, there's a massive offer from them on the table. If he accepts, then they'll probably, start bidding with United from anywhere from 80 to 120 million pounds, which we know about. We've spoken about extensively. But he's another one. If he goes, I mean, you could quite literally, by the time Amorim starts the Premier League next season, you could have a completely different squad, Sam.
Yeah, well, already the front line is already starting to look different. Like obviously, Cunha's in the door. We're looking for a striker, as it seems. Mbeumo is a target who could come in. And then Garnacho, I hope, he'd be great. A fantastic sign if he comes in. And Garnacho looks like he's out the door at some point this season with Rashford and Antony as well. So there's 3 of your forwards gone from the club. And then you're potentially bringing in 3 other forwards with Mbeumo, Cunha's in, and then a striker. So your entire front line could look completely different come the start of next season. Like you couldn't even recognize it because they weren't even here. So that could be an absolute game changer. Like because the whole thing, we could touch on Onana another time, but our massive problem this year has been scoring goals. We've not been able to score any. So if you change your entire front line to a bunch of players who consistently have scored goals and know where the net is, that then changes your fortunes in the league. Because if you're scoring more goals, it means you get more points. It means you move further up the league, which means you improve. So that's what we need to do. Yeah,
the attack is the main point in it. I mean, if you, this is why I'm happy with Cunha, but it can't just be Cunha on his own.
It has to be more.
It can't. You have to get level of that players in each position for me for the attack. So if you go into next season with the attack of Cunha, Ahmad, Gyökeres, let's say, just for example, and you've got Mbeumo there as well. Ahmad can go out to wing back, and you've got those kind of fluid options in there. It changes your whole attacking phases, doesn't it? From what we've done with Garnacho, Højlund, and who else wants to kind of play in those positions. Having those 3, honestly, I would be so much more confident in saying, I know this sounds thingy because we finished 15th, but I'd be like, I think top half is definitely achievable with those kind of players and that kind of caliber up top. Because it's pretty, you said 17 in all comps for Cunha, 6 assists, and Bruno scored 20 goals, I think, in the league this season. You're talking 36, 40 goals added to your team if they play like they're doing in the Prem.
That's without a striker as well so far. Like, we haven't even added a striker.
Exactly.
So say you had
another 20 goals.
He's got 40 in 41 games, obviously. Maybe doesn't repeat that, but say he gets 15 to 20, there's another 15, 20 goals on top of that. So even if Onana is chucking shit in his own net, at least you're mitigating it at the other end, you're scoring goals. So if he does make a mistake, it's not going to cost us the game because you know your strikers or you know your forwards are going to score. So it'll get you out of trouble.
Yeah, and what I like about that, they're not playing at teams where it's guaranteed, like they're not at a Man City or a Liverpool. I'm not saying everything's guaranteed, but obviously the level of players they've got around them, they can almost have a bad day or afford to have a bad day, and the rest will kind of pick it up. With them, there's a very heavy reliance from Brentford on Mbeumo and Visser, and likewise with Wolves, with Cunha as well. Like, Cunha scored 40% of Wolves' goals, I think. This season, which is quite a lot. And they're the kind of figures and percentages that you need to see. You go around all the top kind of players, your Salahs, Haaland and all them, you'd be talking around 40% they've scored for Liverpool, Newcastle, and then bringing that. I mean, my God, I don't need to tell people who are watching the chat how much we need goals in games, and them too are certainly players who can do that.
That's what Fergie used to do. Fergie used to look at the clubs in the league and who were their best players and having the most impact and take them. So not only are you weakening the teams around you, but then you're strengthening the team in you because you then got a team full of absolute fighters and winners because they're so used to doing it at the club they were at previously and being the man, and then you put them all together and they become something. So it's something we need to do more of. It's kind of annoying that we haven't invested more in Premier League sort of proven players, and we've just gone after these people in other leagues, and they've struggled to adapt. So I'm glad to see we're sort of looking towards Premier League players for decent prices. Cunha 62 and Buemo's around about 50, so I think they're good deals in today's age anyway.
Yeah, I think so. In the past 5 years, the only time we've gone to the Premier League is Mason Mount, which obviously didn't work out and was injury prone, and Harry Maguire, who we overspent for, but is a decent centre back. You would probably say
Wan-Bissaka as well, but we overpaid for.
Yeah, 50 million for him was crazy. So yeah, we haven't really shopped there, but this is like these are players who, I mean, Mason Mount at the end of Chelsea is kind of having a few injury issues. He'd been good, I think, the year before that. He was much better. Yeah. Maguire at Leicester was like, hadn't really played for a big club before, and it was kind of like you overpaid for him. But Cunha, I'm happy with it personally. I think he's exactly what we need. You talking about a player who is playing in the exact same system as what he does under Vitor Pereira. So he's just going to slot in on that left-hand side, you would think, nicely. I think he's going to hit the ground running. I don't think there's going to be any kind of bumpy period with him. And I think he's definitely got the character to be like, give me the fucking ball and watch me play football. And that's what I love about it. So I'm excited, but we need more.
He's in early as well, so he'd be part pre-season, which Ruben Amorim is stressed, like, really important Absolutely. For him. And Sporting Sam spoke about, and then a couple of people said, like, once he had his preseason, he got rid of people and brought people in and built it. The next season, they looked incredible. I think, what was it? They lost one game or something the following season. So I'm not saying that's going to happen at United.
Imagine.
Ruben, if it does, Jesus Christ.
I know.
The biggest, that's a bigger turnaround than fucking Leicester, isn't it?
It would be the
relegation spot to like winning the league. Like, be mad. Yeah. But yeah, to do that and have these players, majority of the players that he wants in for preseason, so he can implement his style and his system before the league starts, I think is super important, because we never do it. We never fucking do it. So if we could do that, then yeah, that's even better.
Yeah, and of course you've got a lot of Portuguese-speaking players, obviously because he's from Brazil. So you think naturally Diego Dalot, Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Amorim, obviously the coaching staff. Yeah, Casemiro, there's loads there. So, yeah, I think the settling in period could be decent. So, yeah, that is hopefully the first of many. We want to see another 4 or 5 of that quality come through the door, especially if we're letting so many kind of players go. So, yeah, good start from Ineos. Let's see what happens. For any further updates on this signing and further signings, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Drop us a follow on all them if you don't do already. And yeah, get your kind of transfer news fix. We're going to be live again later on, as I touched on at the start of the show, at 7 o'clock. Me, Sam, Adam, and Aaron are going to review all of our predictions at the start of the season. And it's, yeah, I promise you it's going to be really, really good. So it'll be nice to see as many of you as possible in there. And yeah, we'll see you in a few hours' time. Thank you for watching. See you in a bit. Just doing that thing again. I'm still live. Why is it not stopping? Stop.
So you got to click it. You got to click